For those of you that know, I changed my view of money and assets just 4 years ago. Up until then, I was just your regular middle-class, middle-aged person living in North America, leading a consumer lifestyle, being broke of mind and of pocket. Not that I knew it, but I was aware that something in my life wasn't quite right. I was working all the hours, was leading an unhealthy lifestyle, and seemed to have no money to show for all the hours I was putting in. So I stopped. I took a breath and I started my education and take action in changing my life and the lives of my family. Now we have growing assets and investment properties in multiple provinces in Canada and a healthy and loving lifestyle we didn't think was possible. And you know what? We are just beginning. So here are the money lessons I have learned and put into action to change our lives. Now these are the key ones I not only learned, but I ran with to build our wealth. They all blew my mind and they opened so many doors of opportunities for us. But stay to the end as the last one is the big hitter. So, as they say, let's get started. Now, something I worked out years ago, after working for a few companies, before I moved to Canada, I knew that working for somebody else would not make me rich or wealthy. In my opinion, there is no job to get you wealthy. It's simply not in the company's best interest to make you wealthy or rich. It begs the question, why would a company do that for its employees? And the simple answer, it would not. A company will always pay you less than you're worth. Think about it. For a company to turn a profit, it must make money on every employee. It's just simple, undisputed logic. Make more money than you're paying out. Therefore, you will never be paid what you're worth. If you're lucky, you'll be paid at the top end of the bracket of what you're worth. Even the top earners, the 5%, the CEOs, are only paid just enough to keep them employed. Now, the dollar value of their salary must be very high indeed, but I'm sure lifestyle inflation will absorb much of that. Besides, beyond the pay, at that level, the company owns you and your every hour. It begs the question, is it worth it? Is it even sustainable? It's not exactly conducive to family life. No, the only way to buy your freedom, at least short term, is to start your business and scale. You may just start a side hustle, develop in your spare time alongside your job. That's low risk and low capital investment, and I think a really smart choice. Some of the biggest companies on the planet started exactly that way. Now, you may wish to go all in, quit your job, and get your business off to a flying start. This is how I started years ago. I started my renovation business from home, and it was just me at the beginning. But after a while, I hired employees that I could leverage to increase the business income and scale. But whatever you do, if you're serious about breaking away from the crowd and building wealth, you need to do the opposite of the crowd. Build a business and build your way to financial freedom. You can set the pace and set your income level. Your earning potential is unlimited. And in today's interconnected world, there's never been an easier time in history to connect with people and provide a service. As they say, the sky is the limit. Working hard all your life won't make you rich. Now, I can't speak for other generations, but I remember growing up being told by my parents, my teachers, and my grandparents to work hard and get a good job. To work hard at school, get good grades, to get in at a good job and work my way through the ranks. And whatever your boss asks you to do, you do it. Now, I would argue the advice was sound. Doing those things is a great way to start your career. But I was always more interested in being rich, enjoying some more time off with extra money in my pocket. And I learned probably in my 20s that working at a job is never going to get me rich. But if you started a business like in the previous chapter, working hard means you'll be working all the time. No time for family, no time for a day off, and no time to relax. Now, working hard is important. You need to push yourself and become the best version of yourself. But we can also work smarter. You can also leverage systems to make tasks automated and quicker. After all, time is money, and we can buy it back a lot. Find ways to save time you can implement and have people organized. Working hard is important, and for a time you're going to be working hard to build a solid foundation. But working smarter is far more important. Establish people and systems to help grow your empire. Every successful person does it, and they do it because it works. Take action with the 3-to-1 rule. Now, I used to love reading books, back when I had time to do so. These days, I am very busy, so instead of reading, I generally listen. The problem I found with books and audiobooks, that you enjoy them so much, you almost forget to do the most important thing. Take action. More specifically, take an action on what you've just learned. After all, the whole reason for learning or listening is to learn something new and use it as part of your plan to be financially free or financially stable. Now, I don't know about you, but I love listening to my favorite creators and my favorite authors. So much so, it can almost feel like entertainment rather than growth. So enter the 3-to-1 rule. For every hour of reading or listening, I must put in, you've guessed it, 3 hours of action. That simple rule, if you incorporate it honestly, will promote a serious level of action and limit your education to what you need at that point. The 3-to-1 rule is a simple yet powerful tool that will keep you focused and on track with your goals. It helps keep me engaged and honest with myself that I don't just read for fun, I actually do something with the information. And it's just another system to help increase your output and maximize your success rate. It also helps minimize the risk of less action, which will lead to less growth. However, there are areas where an increased risk is an opportunity to grab, and we'll learn that next. Taking risks to be successful. Most people, I would say, are risk averse. They try to minimize the risks where they can. Good steady job, following the masses and spending habits, and retire in your 60s or later. However, any successful person, be it personal success, business, or even sports, will argue taking the risk is a crucial part of your success. When I started my renovation business, it was full of risks. I had to invest into a truck, into tools, find clients, and find employees. But I sought to minimize the internal risks. Once I got underway, I took action. And while we were building the business, I put systems in place, therefore reducing the risks. We are surrounded by risk, particularly when we're trying to build wealth. There are risks investing in the stock market. There are risks purchasing an investment property. But we reduce the risks with education and over time, experience. We also have the excellent asset of historical evidence. We can go back over time and see what worked in the past. Now, for me, investing in property is minimal risk. I'm comfortable with the field, as my business deals with properties and renovations all the time, and I have the benefit of 15 years' experience. I also network with property investors, which I'll go into greater detail a little later on. But risk, the risk of standing out from the broke crowd to improve your finances and your financial future is all part of your journey to being successful. And what I've learned over these short years is you cannot be successful without taking the risk. And if you could, you'll be surrounded by millionaires. So embrace the risk. Be wary of advice. Now, I won't go too deep into this one, but there's a very important point to make. Some people are great at giving advice. Some people are world champions at giving advice. But very few people know your circumstances and your goals. So while I like to think everybody giving advice is coming from the goodness of their heart, take it with a pinch of salt. After all, you are the best judge of what path you go down and how you go. And for those people that may have less positive things to say when you start branching out, develop a thick skin. Develop alligator skin to deflect negativity and bad comments. Developing a thick skin is a great asset when you start doing something your friends or your family don't understand or agree with. A side point here, I rarely take advice from anyone that doesn't take their own. For example, if someone tries to give me financial advice and they're not financially healthy themselves, I will politely smile and pass. After all, these are the people that will call you lucky when you've achieved your financial goals. Bless. It's true, building wealth is a marathon, not a sprint. I remember when I changed my attitude towards money and started thinking about investing for the future. The first thing I did was try and find the fastest way of doing it. I'm embarrassed to say, I thought to myself, I'm smart, I could do this twice as quick than anyone else. I figured I could apply my discipline and my determination to do a 5-year plan in 18 months. Of course, it doesn't work that way, and for several reasons I'm going to give you. But know that building wealth, true wealth that will look after you and your family for years to come and can become a legacy, takes time to create. It's a steady pace of consistent contributions of action and risk. It is not a race, and you are definitely not in competition with anybody else. In fact, you're going to need a network of people to help you with your goals, and we're going to discuss that next chapter. It's very key. But one of the reasons why building wealth takes time is not just about the money. It's also the time to change your relationship with money. And that takes time. Getting that first $10,000 or $100,000 is a slugfest. But once you get there, getting your first $1 million is a lot easier and a lot quicker. Now, people that get rich, not wealthy, are at risk of losing it, and they often do. We see those stories in the media all the time. People getting a big lottery win or an inheritance, they lose it within a number of years. So don't rush it. In fact, you can't rush it. It's a journey. It's going to take time. So enjoy it. And even when you achieve your financial goals, it seems the most important part of becoming wealthy is how it changes your relationship with money and improve your mindset. So embrace the journey and enjoy it. Remember, the vast majority of people will never be wealthy. Networking and new friends. This perhaps helped us more than any other asset to change our attitude towards money and help building wealth. Now, we were serious about getting out of debt and growing wealth for our family, but we knew we needed coaching and guidance after reading and listening to successful people and how they did it. They all spoke about the importance of networking with like-minded people, surrounding yourself with them, and about having mentors. Don't try and reinvent the wheel. There are people out there who are wealthy and know how to get there. So we made an investment in ourselves and started building a network of people. We got mentors in real estate investing and investing in the stock market. We listened and we learned. Our network carried us until we could walk with confidence. And our mentors guided us through the risks until we didn't see the risks anymore. Today, our net worth is 7 figures. Still blows my mind. And we put largely down to our network and our mentors. Now, the money doesn't motivate us. We're in it for the long game. But even after we become financially retired, we will continue to grow our portfolios because it's fun and we love what we do. It gives us peace of mind, an appreciation of our lives and our blessings, and of all the choices we didn't have before. And guess what? Now we help others too, and try to be mentors to other people just starting out like we did just a few years ago. And you know what? Feels great. Get obsessed. So the parting thought I have for you here today is to make your financial goals your main work focus. Make it your obsession. Now, don't give up your job or your career. Make sure you work hard and apply yourself. But whatever you're using as a vehicle to get financially free and build wealth, make it your main focus. For me, I continue running my business and I apply myself to every project. But my spare time outside of family and work is spent on our investments and the work to build them. Now, I used to have hobbies that cost me money and, more importantly, cost me time. But now, building my family's financial future is my hobby. Instead of building a collection of Nike shoes or arcade games, I now build a portfolio of investment properties that will free us from working for money. Building assets has become my obsession, and it's a healthy one. It's one I love to work on and put in the hours around my family time. And as our property portfolio and our paper assets grow, it no longer feels like work. At this point, it almost feels like a lifestyle. And when I stop working for money, it will become my lifestyle of choice. And it will be a great one. Thank you so much for watching today. I appreciate you. If you found some value to today's video, perhaps give me a thumbs up and even better, subscribe below. The new video will be here next week and I can't wait for you to see it. In the meantime, as usual, I've got one right here. I'll see you there.